Welcome to Charities Bible USA, your #1 channel. There's something on my tooth that I'm trying to get rid of. I hope you're doing fine. Trying to exit from the road. I'm doing fantastic. I've been quiet. But I recently came from Kenya and I needed to rearrange my life. So hopefully now I will be back, and I hope that I won't have any more hitches. But how have you been? I hope that you have been fine. I'm doing very, very well. And I just want to apologize that I came to Kenya and I wasn't able to meet most of my fans. But this is because I hadn't been in Kenya for 10 years. And I tried, guys. But the family members who were in lineup, by the time that we left, we were only in Kenya for 28 days. By the time that we left, we didn't meet all of them. Because we needed to meet so many people, visit, you know, like so many people. And oh gosh, it was crazy. It was exciting. It was really, really exciting. But before that, before I go into whatever I want to talk about today, this is Charities Bible USA, your #1 channel. Thank you for always subscribing, and thank you for always tuning in. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly consider subscribing. And you who have subscribed, thank you for your support. Now, I've seen questions. I haven't looked at them, guys. I haven't been looking at my YouTube channel like it's been a while, because as soon as we came in, we had to prepare for school, and the kids had to go back to school. Now it's getting into the routine for school, and then from there I still needed to go back to work, and we still needed to get into the schedule. So I kind of put aside my other extra things that I do so that I could get everything in order. And I'm still catching up, guys. I'm still getting used to my kids going back to school. I'm still getting used to back to my schedule. Like when we came from Kenya, our system was so disrupted because of the hours difference. Because you find that here when it's during the day, there is at night. There when it is night, here is during the day because of the time difference. So we were kind of messed up, but I thank God that we are here. So what do I want to talk about today? Of course, I know you have questions. I'm going to read them when I get my time to sit down. I'm going to read all those I saw. Questions have been popping up. People have been wondering where I have been. I've been here, guys. And this week, I'm going to post most of the videos that we did when we were in Kenya, and they will be coming out every midnight. When here it's midnight, like I have one that's gonna come out today, I have another one that's gonna come out tomorrow, and then I have another one that's gonna come out on Sunday, and so on and so forth. I don't have very many left. I only have a few left, and then we can continue back to business. It is September, guys. So September means that we are only 1 month. Let me call it a month, or less than a month, because today is the 12th. Is it the 12th? 13th. Today is the 13th of September, and we are almost to fill out the DV lottery, guys. And remember, the only thing that you're gonna need is a good, perfect passport photo. That's the only thing that you're gonna need. Of course, you're gonna need internet. And you're gonna need to know the process. If you go back to my videos, you'll see the process. And of course, like usual, I normally do a few series of the DV lottery application. So watch out for that. It's gonna come on, and I try all my best to be online on that day when the DV lottery is coming in, so that I can help people to do the application. Now, there's one lady who has been like texting me all the time, and she was asking if I could give her a housework, like, you know, like a house help in my home, of which like I normally say, and that's why I like to talk about DV lottery, is that let me turn my video, you haven't been seeing the areas, is that the visas, and I'm not saying that you cannot get, you know, by faith you can, but you find that there are some visas that are really hard to find. Because if you go to the embassy today and say that you're coming to work for me, they're not going to give you a visa. And normally you find that here in the US, there are some people who apply for workers. They normally apply to hire people outside the country, but there is a process that they have to go through, whereby before they are granted that permission to start hiring from outside, they have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that they do not have people who can work for them here in the US. So I'm not there yet. And like I said, when I came to the US, I was able to try and balance my things, you know, try and balance life, work life, parent life, house, work life, and all that. So I like not to give a false promise or anything. And I don't know why she got that idea that I needed a house girl. I'm not sure. But I just want to tell her that I am not able to. I don't like saying something that is incorrect. But I wouldn't be able to promise something that I'm not able to do. So, let me leave it at there. Let me leave that at there. Now, I wanted to talk about, I hope that I have enough minutes because I'm almost at work. I think I talked too much in my intro. So I want to talk about preparation, like what was my experience when I went back to Kenya. Of course, before we went, we had a lot of preparation to do. We had a lot of savings to do. And it costs a fortune to ship your family back to Kenya. It costs a fortune. So when you start talking about the airfare, you know, when you talk about everything that you're gonna have to, any dollar or any shilling that you're gonna have to spend, it costs a fortune. You have to be prepared psychologically, you have to be prepared mentally. I don't know, maybe it looks like there's an accident somewhere, that's why that car is rushing. Oh yeah, there must be an accident somewhere. So apart from investing yourself and preparing yourself mentally and psychologically for a culture shock, you have to look at the financial side, because without enough money, you are not able to move. You can't move. So the first thing that we invested on was a lot of money, like tons and tons of money, so that we could be able to go. And most of it went on to the ticket. Air ticket was very, very, very expensive. I think because we were traveling during summer, the tickets were expensive. I think a budget for everyone was like $2,000. And that's, you know, the economy seat. If you are going for a business class or a first class, those tickets were going up to from $5,000 to $7,000. You know, like if you have to fly with your family, there is no, unless you are, oh gosh, there are some people who can afford. But as a normal person, you can only fly economy, because that's the only one that you will be able to pay and you can afford. I'm saying for myself, but I know most immigrants or most Kenyans or most Africans who live here and they want to go back home, not everyone is able to pay a ticket for business class or pay a ticket for first class. Now, the journey was good. Slept so much in the airport, you know, like just had all those experiences. But when we reached Kenya, that's when like the shock came in, because I do remember we had left 10 years ago, so so many things had changed. You find that technology was high. And another thing that happened when we were in Kenya that kind of it stalled us and we were not able to go to many places is there was a lot of demonstrations going on. At that time is when the young people were doing the what do we call them? The Gen Z. They were demonstrating against the finance bill, and it was hard for us to drive around because of, you know, all that unrest that was there. So I think like a whole week, I would say like more than 7 days, we stayed indoors, and we didn't want to go anywhere because we didn't know, like, you know, if you are new to a place, sometimes you tend to stay away because you're still behind what happened. So we kind of stayed away, and that contributed to some of the time that we lost. Now, what I found out when I went to Kenya is that, and it made me so sad, is that most of the young people, they do not have jobs. And that's why I look at that demonstration that was there at that time, is that those people have a right to demonstrate. They have a right to be heard, you know, because there is no way that someone is going to go to high school, they go to university, or they go to, or even just high school, and they cannot even get a job. You know, even getting a job in a restaurant is so hard, you know, because or getting a good job that, you know, that you can, even if you have all the credentials, maybe being hired like a doctor, being hired like a teacher, being hired, you know, all those fast collar jobs, you cannot get them unless you know who, or unless you want to bribe someone, or unless someone wants to take advantage of you sexually. That's why you will get the job. That is very sad. It's very, very, I found that very, very, very sad, because you find that. And I cannot compare Kenya with US, but what I know is that here kids have opportunities. Like we've been having a very great conversation with my daughter. She is 14 now, and she wants to get a job, because if she knows that she can get a job, but we told her to wait until she goes to high school, so that maybe she can get a job and she can be able to plan her things, maybe pay her phone bill or buy a nice phone that she wants to buy. But you find that here the opportunities are very, very, very open. And you find that the kids, when they finish high school, if they don't want to go to college, there is always an open spot or an open opportunity to go to the military. Like I did a video of my son going to the military and all that. And when they go to the military and they are done, or when they are still in the military, if they want to pursue college, they are paid for, and it's free of charge, and it's a good thing. So you find that this country takes care of the young, the youth, you know, the future of the country. But you find that the thing that I saw there is that you find that someone is like, they're so old, some of them are even close to be senile, and they're still holding on to the government jobs, they're still holding on to the big posts, and they cannot help who is around them. They can only help maybe if it's a family member, or maybe it's a friend, or if it's a girlfriend, you know. It is sad, guys. And that's one of the things that I found that was very, 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 like, it was kind of like, I was like, really, is this where we have reached? Because I do remember when I was coming from Kenya, at least, even if you couldn't get a nice white collar job, you could go to training, you do hairdressing, you do tailoring, you do all that, and then you could start your own business. But right now, I saw that there is an influx of clothes which are coming outside the country. Like there are so many clothes from Turkey, and there are so many clothes for everywhere. So even if you pay for a course for your child, maybe to do like dressmaking, tailoring, and they want to start a business, where are they gonna get clients with all these stuff coming from Turkey, bags, shoes, everything? And you find that so you find that even our own Kenyan people who are more prominent, they are advertising for the outside people, because that's where they get money, you know. So they are trying to promote the import of that stuff to the country, which makes, you know, it makes it a little bit hard for the people who want to start off. Maybe someone wants to do something like dressmaking, someone wants to do, you know what I mean. So that was there when I was living 10 years ago, but right now it's not. There is nothing like that anymore, you know. Another thing that I looked at and I was really sad is the food prices. Oh my gosh. You know, affording a packet of corn flour or maize flour, oh gosh, it takes, you know, I was looking at the budget of maize flour, and you cannot eat corn flour by itself. When you cook ugali, you have to eat with something else. And maybe the job that the manual job that you're doing, maybe you're being paid like 200 or 300. Because I get to talk to some people who had been hired in a hotel, and I was like, how much do you get paid every day? They're like 200 is what I get paid every day. So you find that if you're paid 200 or 250, it's not even enough to put a plate on the table. So that was another challenge that I was like, oh my gosh, how do these people survive? So those are some of the experiences that, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, the people, the citizens, they have been pushed away somewhere in the corner. And you know, unless you have something is when you will have a good life. But if you don't have anything, or you don't know who you know, then you cannot have, which is like really, really, really sad. And that's why, like, even the leaders, I might do this in my YouTube channel and nobody might be able to see it, but the people who are there and they are, you know, the leaders, they should rethink their strategy. You know, I know it was a wake-up call when the young people like demonstrated and everything, but what happened? What did they gain? Some of them died. It's not that because the finance bill was stopped, like nothing happened. I do remember the ministers being fired and then after returned back. So I don't know how that really helped. And then you find that because people do not have money and people are poor, the leaders of such demonstrations, they are silenced with, you know, a little bit of this and that. Maybe you are offered a job, maybe you are offered some money, and then you're quiet. So you find that that goes and quiets down. But what I can say is that not everybody is gonna get outside the country and go abroad, and not everyone is gonna be lucky enough to get a DV lottery. But the young people, especially, they have a voice. They do have a voice, and the voice is getting a vote and getting all those people out. You know, you have to vote. You know, I was looking at, you know, when you look at the voting system, especially in Kenya, most young people do not vote because they feel like even if they vote, they don't get help. But that's the only way that their voice will be heard, by voting, you know. So when it comes to voting, you have to make sure that your voice is being heard by voting. But there is no way that you can, even if you stage so many demonstrations or whatever, it's not going to help if you do not vote. You have to be able to get your vote and vote, you know. Here, we do vote. Like, you know, there are some people who do not vote, but for me, I believe in going to vote. I do remember the last election that we had to go and vote. I had even to mobilize my son so that we could go and vote. You know, I was like, let's go, you know. And it's good because right now he was the one who was like, oh, I can't wait, like we have to vote and all that, because we're almost going to elections here in a little bit. So those are some of the things that I found that were kind of very challenging to me. Of course, my children had fun. They got to see the culture. They got to see different people. They got to learn different languages. They got to interact and you know, meet family members that they had never met. But my highlight is that I got to see my grandmother. My grandmother is over 100 years old, and I had been praying so that when I go back to Kenya, I find her alive, and I found her sound and still healthy, and she can still walk. That was, you know, it was so amazing to see that she can still walk. She's not bedridden. She can walk. She can talk. Actually, she was remembering some memories of like when we used to, because some of my childhood I grew up at my grandmother's homestead, so she could remember, and that was the thing. So I just wanted to do a highlight, like just a summary of what we found out when we went to Kenya. And believe me, guys, it was quite an experience. It was quite an experience, and I am hoping and praying that we are able to go back soon. We don't want to wait for another 10 years so that we can go and visit. No, I'm praying so hard that we are able to go back very soon so that I can get to meet the people. I'd love to meet the people. But in the meantime, I'm gonna see if I'm able to do a series of maybe some live shows so that I can get to meet you guys. But I don't like making so many promises if I'm not able to keep them. But I will cross that bridge when we reach there. So thank you guys for always tuning in and being always very patient with me, because sometimes sometimes it's hard to do to juggle. But I thank God that I'm here, and I thank God that you're still there supporting me. You know, 4,000 and something people is no joke, and I know that our target is still gonna grow. I do plan to do more of my American way of life, what I do, especially with my children, especially in the house and all that. That's kind of my my plan. I'll still looking at the DV lottery, still encouraging you guys to try, and even if you're not gonna come to America, try and go to the Middle East. You know, try and go there and get money that's not in form of Kenya shillings, because it's gonna be better, and you'll be able to use it, or you'll be able to invest back home in easily, other than waiting to be hired, and then all the money that you're getting, you're living from hand to mouth. So that's why I'm gonna leave you guys. So I wish you all the best. I gotta go to work. It's 6:32. I normally wait a little bit until maybe 6:40, because from here to the lift, it takes me like 5 minutes, and then the lift is 1 minute, and then I get to work. I normally like to clock in at 6:30, 6:53. I like to be early. So guys, I wish you all the best. Thank you, and God bless you.